This episode of Nuff Said is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code SOUTHGATE to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Jason Lunatics podcast.
Recording has started. Hello, friends and neighbors. Howdy, neighbor. Neighborinos, neighboranos, neighborends, neighborex. This is Superconnectivity, the show that connects all things superfluous. I am your host, Charlie the Professor Esser, and with me, as always, is the blue-eyed bomber from the Burg of Pitts.
Fill me and Perich.
Yay! And let's hear it for Pittsburgh with those late returns. Saving the nation.
Finally, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia working together.
You know, sometimes you gotta fill up. Okay, let's, what do we want to talk? Oh, one thing I did want to talk about, Mandalorian, as you know, is back. We did discuss it a little bit on the other show, but this was something I found very interesting. Now, the first episode was like a long episode. Mm-hmm. And then the second episode was kind of its classic 30 to 45 minute episode. So I found that interesting that they're going back to that short form story.
That's what I was wondering, if they were just going to do like maybe a longer premiere and like maybe the finale will be longer.
Yeah, and I can see that. Although again, as I kind of said, I feel like a lot was cut out of this last episode 2. Mm-hmm. Or sorry, season 2. Chapter 2.
Chapter 10.
Oh, Chapter 2. Well, no, it's technically... So it's Chapter 10 of the Mandalorian saga, but it's also...
Season 2, Episode 2, yeah.
They're not being consistent as Star Wars is. Tristan, you had a question about the Mandalorian. What? I did? You said you did? Okay, never mind then. Okay, well, if you think of it, come on over to the show and let us know. Yeah, that was the real disappointment for it, is that it sets up a very interesting premise. We get a very interesting character in this female salamanderin, or whatever we're going to call her, mm-hmm. and her incredible edible eggs. Although Tristan actually pointed out that it looked like she laid some more when she was in the hot springs. So it's entirely possible that, it wasn't that big that he ate an egg or two, because she can make more in the right conditions. I don't know. Yeah, it was weird, because it was hard to tell how many were in there. And I don't know. Didn't she say that those like the last ones? I don't know. It's very odd. We're not sure, but that's okay. But yeah, it just felt like, they kind of put themselves into a difficult situation, and they got out of it very quickly. And it's like, okay, first off, and again, it's this weird thing, because, the whole pulling him over for a broken taillight thing.
I know, just like shooting him out of the sky. I'm like, you don't know who's in that ship.
Well, it's like, well, we need to know that you're not Imperial. It's like, really? Why do you need to know that?
Why? He wasn't doing anything.
Yeah, exactly. Am I under arrest, or am I being detained? No, man.
I mean, that ship's not that big. It's not like you're carrying like a whole, stormtrooper platoon or something in there.
ACAB, man. ACAB. And that's what, that's what these were. These were the freaking, New Republic cops. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, we just saw you flying through here. We want to know what you were up to. Doesn't look like your neighborhood, Mando.
Well, didn't they make a comment about, it's like it's a dangerous time? So is it like really like the Wild West out there now? It's like, there's
but
there's no order, there's no law, so they're just worried about everybody.
Yeah, okay, but
I mean, I'm not trying to.
What's he doing? I mean, that's the thing. It's like, okay, it's a, and granted, it's like, here's someone flying sublight. Why are you flying sublight? Why aren't you going faster than light? We know you can. It's like, but it's like. And I don't know. Also, I kind of wonder if maybe her species are like an invasive species. So helping them breed might be like a really bad crime in this universe.
Yeah.
Anything is possible, you know?
I mean, yeah. I mean, they could have had like, some of his old enemies or somebody else shoot them out of orbit and stuff. But I don't know. I just think they wanted it to be them just for the whole plot device. It's like, okay, there's warrants for your arrest, but you did help capture some dangerous criminals. You did save the life of a lawman. So it's like, are you an anti-hero or are you,
Yeah, but they still don't give him the freaking bounties.
I know.
Just say, well, you help me out and I won't claim those bounties.
I know. And they're, and help me repair my ship.
You ain't getting those bounties, Mando.
Yeah, if they wouldn't even help him repair the ship, I would have been like, you know what? I got a woman with a bunch of eggs.
I got like the freaking good guys.
I got a baby on board. They might not know there was anyone else on board, but it's like, I got a kid.
But even still, it's like, a motorist in distress, you're supposed to stop, or at least call a tow truck for him, It's, but they also know that he doesn't want to turn on his transponder, because clearly there are people that, but then again, it's one of these things. It's like, and that's the thing, it's like they ran his tags, They ran the plates, and so, okay, so we know that this, your vehicle was used for this, and this, and, it's like, okay, you know all that, but what is your problem, people? And first off, if you could run my tags from the ship, why did I need to follow you back to your other place to run the tags? That's the thing. It's like, are they just being, or
if he is up to something shady, why not follow him to where he's going? If he's smuggling something illegal, why don't you just follow him where he's going?
But you know what these were small time cops.
Oh yeah.
Who got to go. This is something my brother always said, man. If you're ever in a small town, the cop chases you, pull you over. Because that cop will kill you to pull you over. And they're just waiting for that high-speed chase. Mm-hmm. They want you to run, And so, I don't know. I really think that this is one of those moments that reminds you that, oh, yeah, the Republic's kind of awful. The Republic are awful people, too. They're all awful. All of these people are awful.
There's no oversight right now.
Oh, okay. What is your question, Tristan? Get close to the mic. Okay, what do you want to tell me? Get close to the mic. I can turn the camera off. Okay, ready? There we go.
I wanted to tell you that originally the spider creatures were originally going to be in the Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, they were?
Oh.
Yeah, apparently they were about to be in the Empire Strikes Back, but then got scrapped.
Oh, okay.
They were also in another game.
Well, yeah, they seem to be doing a lot of callbacks to those movies lately.
Yeah, well, and here was our Hoth episode. We're all... Is Luca making faces at you?
Yes.
Yes. Hi, Luca. But yeah, I mean, although it's also kind of like, oh, look, alien eggs. And then, Yoda eats one, Yiddle eats one of those too. So.
What? Oh, the spider ones, yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I said. He likes eggs, man. He was eating all those other eggs, and then, that spider. And then they all start they choose that time to hatch. He's just like,
yeah, well, Yiddle, he's a growing.
I mean,
so.
Is he like getting older? Because he's starting to make I don't remember him actually making like actual baby sounds.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of vocalizing now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is I always felt like probably one of the things about the tridactyl species is they probably don't usually communicate verbally.
Mm.
They have to with other people because that's how everything else talks. But I totally feel that Yiddle is going down the path of the Sith. He is he's going to be a force-wielding, Mando. Is what's going to happen.
I just wonder what kind of societal structure or whatever they have, because we never seen more than one of them at a time. We have the Child here, we had old Yoda in those other movies. We never saw more than one of them together.
Well, yeah, they're probably a fairly solitary species. They're probably like, those Galapagos tortoises, they chill. They chill a lot. But yeah. Oh, so I don't know if you listened to any of the back and forth talk off camera that me and Maz did last week, but as I will let you know, I am live tweeting Mondays at 7 p.m. The new season of Ducktales, in which we are building our Disney Afternooniverse. And my current fan theory is Shere Khan is the head of Fowl.
Oh.
And that's what we're going to be leading up to when we get our big Tailspin crossover. As we're going to find out that it is Shere Khan who is the mastermind behind Fowl. You know, the tiger. And so I'm excited by that because it also looks like Bradford isn't really the, you know, if you watch last episode, Bradford is like the COO, but he's not the CEO, you know?
Yeah.
He like handles day-to-day operations, but someone else is really the person in charge of it. And
I've seen some headlines for that show. Are they spinning any other shows out of that? Or?
They're setting them all up, and it's weird because they are setting these things up. They are establishing ideas about it, but we're not. I get the feeling it's like this idea of like the Darkwing Duck. I think is very much meant to be a backdoor pilot. You know, the Darkwing Duck episode, and I think that was. And again, it goes to that sort of idea that they originally wanted to do a Boba Fett story, and Disney said, maybe not. Maybe we want to keep that character in reserve. What else have you got? And I kind of get the feeling that this interconnected universe was always their intention, but that in this case, it's like, this is what we have available. This is what we can work with, and I think it's worked out great for them, and I think that the little callbacks they've done to the Disney Afternooniverse have been interesting. So I'm looking forward to them doing more. And I do like JD Rockaduck, who does have who is now like he is returned, although he's also he's no longer a cryogenically sealed egg. He is now by using the Fountain of Youth transfer stuff. If you're not following, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, he's back to his fighting strength again. And the Rocket Ducks, and he's the I guess because he never died, it's all still his money. So it's like crazy.
I think Disney's in the lead probably with like extended universes now. What, like Marvel, Disney, Star Wars, Ducktales, yeah. And I do wonder what is. I have been watching Hellstrom, and Roxxon gets a couple shout-outs in it. It's interesting, but, it is very much, it's like, it's part of the same universe, because it does have that Roxxon connection, but at the same time, you can also see that it's not making an effort to acknowledge other things that are out there and going bump in the night. Although I haven't seen all the episodes yet, it's an interesting thing. Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't watched it yet, so like they really haven't called out if it's like part of the extended universe or anything.
Yeah, no. The only thing that we know is that we see someone stop at a Roxxon station. So Roxxon, and that's the thing. And like in my mind, it's like, well, okay, that's sort of a gimme. That when you see that's Roxxon, that tells you what universe you're in. It's like, if you get Iron City Beer, that this was a book written by Jim Shooter. But anyway, but it's weird because I don't know what they're doing with it yet, and I don't want them to basically say, the TV universe is gone, it's dead. We're not ever going to bring those things back. And I don't feel that that's a good idea. I think that, it had its false starts, but it's also the continuity that we have for this universe. And so I think that part of what people like about these universes is that things have consequences and matter. And I think they need to, and like I said, I haven't finished Hellstrom yet. They need to make that effort to say, yes, this is still part of the universe as a whole. And we hope you enjoy. Anyway. Yeah, that's that stuff. You want to hop right to comics?
Sure.
Let's talk U.S. Agent, because I do not know what's going on in this story.
Okay, thank you. I'm not the only one. Okay.
Because it seems a very time jumpy.
Yeah.
You know, they say we thought it was Cap and his Chinese fella friend, and then later we see John Walker, U.S. agent, and then we get this. It's very weird because we see that basically someone blows up the power plant, but that seems to have happened after John Walker shows up. But John Walker is being sent because they blew up the power plant. It's very strange. We have John Walker basically capturing pizza delivery boys.
Because supposedly, isn't one supposed to be like a bomber or an assassin or something?
Something like that. But again, it's like, what a weird...
I know.
The premise, it's very disjointed, and I get it. And I like Maury. I like our Chinese ninja master, I guess.
Yeah.
Although, is he a ninja master or is he just a delivery boy? It's like, yeah, I know about guns and I can, and I know some quick kung fu moves, but that's about it,
Yeah.
I'm not Shang-Chi, buddy. And then we find U.S. Agent's long-lost sister at the end. No, that is not Diamondback. Why would you think that? Say, oh, we made a character that looks exactly like Diamondback, and we gave her pink hair. And but no, not Diamondback, kids. Don't even think it.
See, I could see that, but I mean, yeah, it's not her. I was almost like, oh, that's not like that new Madam Hydra is.
No, that's, you mean Pinky Hydra?
Yeah.
I do like that. First of all, I like that he's got a substandard shield.
Oh yeah, I guess he has like a bunch of they
confiscated the good shield.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Like, I don't understand. I'm not saying I'm not enjoying it. I am saying I don't understand it.
Yeah, it just seems like they jump into the middle of a story and says like, okay, how did we get here?
But I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to see what season 2 looks like, and there's nothing about it that offends me.
Oh no,
there's nothing about it that says, "Oh, this is a dumb story." But at the same time, it's like, well, what exactly is going on? How is this tied in? What's going on with Valerie Cooper?
Yeah, like I think we did a time jump in the beginning there, but I'm assuming we're going to get back to that. But I mean,
yeah, and I got to see, like, is there another person pretending to be to John Walker? That's sort of like what I'm trying to get to in this.
Oh, maybe.
Because like it sounds like a guy who looked like U.S. Agent showed up originally, and then John Walker is coming out there after things. It's a little bit confusing.
And then this whole thing with the sister at the end. Remember when we covered that his miniseries from the 90s? Like, remember that guy pretending to be his brother? Now, it's either his real sister or someone pretending to be his sister.
Oh yeah, was someone pretending to be his brother?
Remember that bloodstained guy? Remember?
Maybe I missed that issue. I don't know.
No. Remember me and Lilith cover that one on Comic Capers? It was like a 4-issue miniseries. The whole Scourge thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
the guy was pretending to be his brother. Yeah.
Yeah, but his brother was dead, and he knew he died in Vietnam. And also, it was never mentioned that he had a sister before, and you would think that would come up because he had parents.
Yeah. Oh wait, he does have a sister. He does, because remember in those backups we covered, like him in Battlestar went to his sister to ask, where the parents were buried. Yeah,
that's right. Oh, so here's his sister, and someone decided to make her a superhero too.
I was gonna say, wasn't she like living in the suburbs? Now all of a sudden, yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, so's Black Widow right now, so don't assume. By the way, that entire idea, it's a little weird to me. Well, it's sort of like, and it's one of these things where obviously, they always recycle ideas and thoughts. And it's like, wait, what was, because isn't this a film with Morgan Freeman where the woman has amnesia, then she realizes she's a super spy?
Oh, Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, Long Kiss Goodnight.
With Sam Jackson, yeah.
Oh, that was Sam Jackson, yeah. Long Kiss Goodnight. That's what it was, yes. Great film, by the way. I love it. And kind of interesting in this things, too. Yeah, and I didn't get the chance to read that issue yet. Just... I've been a little busy since Wednesday, Had 3 days off and have just basically been,
Ignoring the news.
Yeah, it's been a week, Philip.
I know. We're gonna get there. It's gonna take a while.
Yeah.
We're gonna get.
Well, it's all winding down. I'll be honest with you. At a certain point, here's the thing. This is the first rule when you're dealing with a person who's being psychotic, is you get calm.
Mm-hmm.
The calmer you are, the more psychotic it's a grounding technique. You can't really do it with an actual, fully psychotic person, but if someone's just, losing their stuff, if you just completely stay calm, do not react to them.
Oh, yeah.
They eventually start to realize, I look like an idiot right now.
Of course, yeah.
It's like, okay, yes, we're just going to count the votes, and we're going to see where it goes, and, and that's the thing. And, we'll see what happens. We'll see if the sun comes out tomorrow. Or if we're just going to walk the same path every day. Forever, Phil. It's forever and ever and ever and ever.
Oh, Thor, yes. Thor number 9.
Where does Don Blake go? Which is just I don't know.
And at first I was going to be like, wasn't he a severed head after the last time we saw him? But I believe that was before the 20, what is that?
Yeah, that was before
Secret
Franklin
Wars. Yeah.
Rebuilt everything. And this is what Franklin decided to do with Don Blake?
I mean, I guess, you could say he gave him his paradise, but, he went insane.
Well, yeah, because eventually he realized, he realized it wasn't what it seemed. But the idea was to put him into a dreaming state.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that if you wake up in the dream, but then you can't wake up in real life, it becomes a nightmare. So usually when you wake up in your dream, you only have a few minutes of dream time, or you have a limited amount of time in the dreamscape where you can actually enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But, in this one, of course, he enjoys it a bit too much. And honestly, the Thor trying to lie to Loki is kind of a weird thing in this.
It's just the Thor Thor just doesn't want to admit things are out of his control, I guess.
Yeah, well, Thor's having a rough day, and Loki's like, dude, first off, I don't do that anymore. I'm not the god of lies anymore. Yeah. I'm the god of stories and myth. I'm rebranding. And of course we see that basically Don Blake has brought about his own Ragnarok, his own thing, and here he is with his scalpel and his stick, with his crazy Wyndham genie. His whole wildling's hair, and it's and then he beats up Loki. Because, you got a dwarf Loki, and he breaks the stick, so Thor can never come back.
and I don't know. Again, I think there's been some retconning, but it's like, if Thor could just, smash that hammer still and bring Blake out, why wouldn't he just do it from time to time?
Well, but more to the point, it's like, why would you... so the original idea, and that's one of those things, when the hammer first fell to Earth and Don Blake came back. And then when he first comes back, he's old, and then he gets euthanized. He gets younger before he actually gets around to picking up the hammer. And, that's a thing. And that was an interesting thing they did to bring Thor back. But then, they have him kind of going insane then too. And really, it just seems like, Don Blake is just crazy because he's not a full person. He's not a real being.
Yeah.
He's a shade that was created for this purpose by Odin. But the thing is that he was also a real, he is kind of, it's the Daedalus conundrum. He was created, but he feels he's a real boy, but there is an aspect of him that is not a real boy, and he knows that, and it drives him nuts, just the idea that he was created. He was created for a purpose, and not a purpose for him to find for himself, but a purpose that someone else intended for him.
Yeah.
And then he gets abandoned in that loop of a dream, which is also weird because, like, why would you do that with him? Why is that an idea that seemed like a good idea at the time?
But is that like God's thinking, oh, this is something mortals like,
Mortals like walking, right?
Small
like saying hi and
small
things.
Town? They're just mortals. They don't do a lot.
They just like to sit in the fields, raise their sheep, right? That's what mortals do. But speaking of legends, it's a bit of a transition, but anyway, Orville had a new book out this week.
Oh.
And they just finished the last one. Now they have a 2-part book called Heroes.
Oh.
Which is interesting because it's like, oh, hey, this one of our characters who is the security officer we all know and love, on a previous assignment, they were like, oh, wow, this species just looks exactly like this other species we know. So they have her go in there so she can go down to the planet and just sort of interact with people. And, it's your basic pre-industrial thing, and they're trying to figure out why they look exactly like this other species. Says, yeah, but it doesn't seem like there's anything about them that seems to connect us. We don't really have any history, and they don't have superhuman strength like us, so we don't know. It seems like they just randomly look like us. But when they come back 5 years later, second contact, if you remember from Lower Decks, gotta do those second contacts. You gotta keep interacting with them. Turns out, well, in that case, it was like, oh, they're not ready for us, so let's just let them be, and we'll just come back later. And then they come back later, and they're like, oh, wait, why are there all these rocket ships on their planet? Turns out that, this race of not the Ferengi are, making them work. Actually, these guys look like the guy who piloted the Millennium Falcon with Lando in Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, okay.
Oh, not Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
I forget that guy's name.
So do I.
Yeah, but that kind of looks like that species. And, in the plotline, there is like, there was this, ancient warrior the magic warrior that showed up to free them when they were under a dictatorship. But also at the same time, the Union says, no, you can't interfere because because that other group isn't in the Union. And so it's really not your place to bug them because we don't need them because they might see it as an act of war and we have enough enemies as it is, yada, yada, yada. So anyway, at the very end of it, our protagonist character, he just says, hey, Captain, can I take some leave? Wink, wink. And he's like, okay, have fun. So she takes a little bit of leave time to go down to the planet and be a superhero. So, yes, next issue, she gets to be a superhero, and we'll see how that plays out.
Oh, hey, did you read Avengers?
Yes, I did read Avengers. Oh, more of why everyone hates Mark Spector. He's just such a self-important ass. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but also, too, I mean, it's mental illness.
You know what? Is it, though? Is it really? Or is it just an excuse he's using?
He has multiple personalities. He has this Khonshu whispering in his ear half the time.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that.
I mean, hey, the gods can drive you insane. Ask Don Blake.
Yeah, clearly, yeah. But, his whole, I was right. I'm Moon Knight. So, it's like, yeah, you might have been right, but you also didn't go about the proper way to do it. But we also agree with you. You need to be a part of the team. He's like, no, I work better alone.
Well, again, I know Ray hates this comparison, but is that the Batman syndrome?
Yeah. I work better alone. And then we have oh no, it's the Spider-Verse, but Mephisto's.
Oh, yeah.
And of course we get this whole thing here where Mephisto makes a deal with a guy.
Oh, yeah, him and his family are like in a blizzard starving, yeah.
Yeah, so and they have to just, take some kids, take some fingers, all the little bits and pieces. Which also, I gotta wonder if this is going to tie into the Star brand, because you can see that it is some kind of family lineage, which makes me wonder if this Star brand baby is actually part of the Winthrop lineage in some left-handed way.
Oh, maybe.
You know, I could be wrong, but it's a thought.
I was just wondering about, the whole Mephisto thing, and Tony Stark's just like, oh, it's been Mephisto since the beginning of time, and blah, 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 all these alternate Mephistos, and it's like, are we going to start, is this going to weave into any Spider-Man stuff even?
Yeah, well, and you also see Mephisto essentially being like, oh, hey, why don't you, little Thanos, go deal with these Avengers? Hey, Apocalypse, how you feeling? Oh, you want to be left alone, don't you, Hulk? And, just him doing all this stuff. And I love Kid Thanos, man. I want more Kid Thanos. I'm Thanos! You all better listen to me, because I'm the threat to the universe. It's like, are you like 12? I'm a Titan! Respect me! It's like, Kid Thanos, no. Kid Thanos.
Then the end of that issue.
The end of the issue. What with the
how Howard Stark is was basically Mephisto's pawn or whatever,
or it's just a shade he's wearing.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I don't think it's going to be the real Howard Stark. I think it's all going to be.
What I was going to say, are we going to retcon what Bendis didn't be, or is Tony going to be like, I don't care, that's not my dad, that's not my real dad.
You're not my real dad! You're not my real dad, Howard Stark.
Oh, or did Mephisto pull something, it's like, oh, Howard really was your father,
Wow. No, I just think, honestly, I'd love it if Howard was really Tony Stark's father, because, the other thing makes no sense.
Yeah. I mean, you could still keep that other mother, but just say Howard was unfaithful or whatever.
Yeah, of course, Howard.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. It works.
Have you seen the TV show?
Yeah, it works.
Honestly, I just want them to just have actually, you've got 20 brothers and sisters. We pay them off, but yeah. And they're all super geniuses. Actually, 90% of supervillains. The Shocker, who built the shock things. Yeah, that's because he's actually Howard Stark's illegitimate kid.
Male, female, every color of the rainbow. You've got siblings all over the world.
It's like the Higgins brothers. And one day we will unite. The Higgins brothers. That's from Magnum P.I. And Higgins' father was a bit of a cad, as they say. A very fertile cad. But yeah, so that was comic books this week. It was interesting. I like Mephisto as a villain. I'll give it that much.
Yeah,
I think that there's all sorts of potential there, and I just like the idea that Mephisto's always like, "But am I?" Just say there, "Ooh, I'm Mephisto. Oh, I've been manipulating you all along."
Yeah, I just want.
Have I?
I just want,
like Loki, God of Stories.
Yeah,
90% of his power is just like, what? Huh? Like, ooh, I'm the thought in your head. I'm the whispering serpent.
I just wonder at the end of the story, because they say they have Khonshu locked up in Asgard right now, but if are they gonna have to team up with Khonshu to take down Mephisto or something? Or
who knows? I actually want it to be that the Beyonder shows up at the end and it's like, no, don't kill Death again. Please don't kill Death.
Tracksuit Beyonder.
Yeah, well, because that's the thing. It's like, that was always my favorite thing with Mephisto, is when Beyonder goes out and he's like, now what am I? I'm an itch. I'm annoying. I can't do it. My whole thing was death, and I was, then I got souls, but now no one dies. What am I going to do? I'm having a bad day. Yeah, no, Mephisto's funny.
I had a recommendation for you. I don't think you read Guardians of the Galaxy #8.
No, I did not.
It's our buddy Al Ewing writing it, but
okay.
It started last issue. It's Empire Aftermath. There's a peace summit going on, an intergalactic peace summit, and one of the delegates got killed, and they framed Marvel Boy for it. But so guess who comes in, locks all the doors, and has to play detective and try to figure it out? Rocket.
Rocket, yeah.
Yeah. It's
Detective Raccoon.
like I said, it's Al Ewing, so it's pretty good.
Yes. So I will have to read it. That, and I got to get back to reading my Black Widow, because that is such a good story, and I really, like I said, I did not get the chance to get to everything I wanted to this week.
Yeah.
It's like there's other things in my mind, and I was, like, here's what I'm going to tell you. I took these 3 days off. I am glad I took these 3 days off.
Oh, yeah.
Because honestly, I don't think I would have, and I was so mad that it fell on payroll Tuesday. It's like, okay, I'll go in on payroll Tuesday. I'll do the process payroll, I'll handle all the things, and then, then life happened. Wop, 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 wop. Anyway, okay, Philip. Anything else you want to talk about this week?
No, I think that's good. That was the comics.
I think that's good. Yeah, it's a slow week. There's other things on our mind.
Charlie Esser's on
Jim Gaffigan. That was the big drop this week. Jim Gaffigan's the big drop. And
Charlie Esser's on vacation. Come on.
I'm on vacation. Why you make me do all this stuff? I'm on vacation. No. So Philip. I don't know what you're listening to this on right now. I don't know what I'm listening on to it, really. But, for my personal listening, I have dollar store headphones. And they're not very good, Philip. I mean, they're good for something like Marketplace or one of those NPR shows where, it's, you have it in the background. Wait, don't tell me. I love them and that's great. But, the fact of the matter is you don't have that crisp, clear depth of emotion in those things that I think you need to listen to a proper comic book podcast. That's why I recommend all our listeners go over to tweakedaudio.com. Yes, tweakedaudio.com. Use the coupon code Southgate for a discount on your purchase. Likewise, here's the fun thing. That coupon code, that's a digital coupon code, which means you can take that anywhere in the internet, put in the word Southgate. Maybe you'll get a discount, maybe not, but where you will get a discount is if you take it over to hunterkiller.com, where you can basically play this really awesome game, get what they say is an escape room delivered to your home, just a bunch of clues that you have to help the character Michelle Gray piece together to solve a cold case. And so that sounds like fun. And if it doesn't sound like fun to you, well, some people have no souls and they have no quest for adventure, and that's fine. We don't judge you for that. But you can also just feed your consumeristic ideals by going down to our show notes, clicking on the Amazon link, and go to Amazon, buy whatever the heck you want. Costs you nothing, helps us out. And while you're there, hey, you might want to check out Pod Life the book in paperback and in PDF form or Kindle form or digital form. You can read that book. It's written by and for the people of the Southgate Media Group, and it tells all of our stories, and you may enjoy that. And audiobook is coming soon, and Pod Life the Book 2 is coming soon, so keep your eye out for that. And in the meantime, Philip, if anyone would like to talk to you about any of the wonderful things we discussed, how can they find you?
The easiest way to get a hold of me or any of our team is to email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES, and you can find links to all of our stuff, social media, the YouTube, all of it, at Linktree, linktr.ee/capesandlunatics.
Very good. Of course, if you'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way, the way our Maz and Paz once did, and Mephisto does as well, at Charlie S. Or no, sorry, at you can do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And what you can also do if you are a hip young person and on the Twitter. I don't think hip young people are on Twitter anymore. I think I'm already aged out. You can watch me live stream. Well, not live stream, but you can follow me on Twitter as I live tweet. That's the word that the kids are using. Ducktales, 7 o'clock on Mondays. It's the best show you're not watching. Deep lore and fancy characters. And they're ducks! At Charlie Esser, that's CHARLIESSER. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Thank you, Maz, and thank you, Tristan, for doing that in the background. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been another episode of Superconnectivity. I hope your superfluouses have been properly connected Please, if they are not properly connected, be careful with them. They could go off at any moment, and come back again next week. We will try to super connect them again. Good night.
Good night.
And that's that story.
Superconnectivity on the road. That hotel Wi-Fi was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, hotel Wi-Fi often is. Especially when there's not a lot of people in the hotel.
Oh, true. Oh, yeah.